New look. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How is everybody doing? I hope you guys are killing it in your life. I think a lot's a hang of how to talk to the camera. I mean, it's been a few days. It's been about a week or something. I'm just working on some anxiety project that is coming up. So I know it's been a while since I put out some content. I've been doing a little bit of research on the other topics, and then I've been working on some project, some super cool, super exciting project. It's going to take about a month or two, even just to get the bare bones of it. So that's how complicated it is. But everything is something exciting is coming for you guys. Okay, that's about it. Anyway, so today's topic is going to be how to lose weight naturally. I just want to stick to the bare bones of it. I wanted to give out as much as information as you guys can understand. So I want to put it in the layman's terms as to what are the basic tips and tricks that you can possibly take in your everyday agenda, so that it's just not going to be like a moving mountain effects for you to just get healthy. So without further ado, let's just start. 7 tips to actually lose weight naturally. So why naturally? Now, there are a lot of things in the market which is coming up, like steroids, fat burners, and things like that. There's a lot of things which is coming up. But I wanted to, I have, like, till date, I haven't used any of this crap, because it might like interfere with your system. It might just disturb your overall functionality as a whole. I mean, today it might just give you it looks like it gives you a lot of results. I mean, instantaneous, people want fast results, they just go for it. But technically speaking, it doesn't work on the long standing. So it just doesn't go for like as a whole. So what I want you to do is just stick with the basics, with a little bit of nutrition, good amount of sleep, and then good amount of metabolism maintenance. And then with that, I think you should be able to, I'm reasonably confident that you should be able to get wherever you want to be. It's just that all the minor steps that you need to take and things like that. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, let's just jump in. So first thing, I want you to understand the topic. I want you to understand the concept. So the 7. So what are what is losing weight? So losing weight is, I've been talking about it almost all of my forums. Like, losing weight is not right way to approach it. First, you need to ask the right question for you to get the right answer. Yeah. So ask the right question. It's not about losing weight. If I have to take like 2 people, A and B, and if you have to just look at A, and who's weighing about 70 kgs or 80 kgs or even 100 kgs, and person B is weighing about 60 kgs. So you might possibly think that, okay, person A is not healthy, and then person B is, super healthy because it's just about 60 kgs. Well, that's not true. The reason as to why I'm saying that is because the overall body mass comprises of different elements. Yeah. So the person who is weighing 100 kgs, who's person A, he could have 10% body fat, 15% body fat, and a lot of muscle, and a lot of water, and glycogen, and things like that. That means the person is way much more healthier and stronger, while compared to the person B, who is just weighing about 60 kgs, but his fat percentage is like through the roof, right? So this is not the right way to quantify the health status of a person, right? The right way to judge a person is judge a person's health status would be with different other elements, like in terms of a strength, in terms of your cholesterol level, the bad cholesterol level, in terms of your body fat percentage, and things like that. Never judge through the weigh scale. I mean, to put it simply, the mirror will tell you the truth. Point simple. Okay. Stand in front of the mirror. That's the best way to see it. I mean, the overall physique on the outside, what you see is like a complement for the better internals. The better externals are, the result of good internals. So if your not necessarily, but in all the cases, but I would just say mostly it would be on a better level, because if your abs are visible, not like a dangerous level of low body fat, but then to an optimum level, your abs are visible. That means your cholesterol levels are kind of down, your body fat percentage is kind of down, and things like that. The more muscle you have, the more fat that you keep burning and all that. Okay. So optimum shape, don't look for a proper shape unless you're going for the contest and things like that. I would suggest you to be in an anabolic state where you're constantly burning your fat off, and that's exactly what you need to be seeing, and rather not going to the extreme side. Okay, using a lot of steroids and fat burners and things like that. Well, you can and you should probably, if you're again going for the contest and competitions, because without that, it's literally impossible for you to achieve those results to get onto the stage. But just to even stay healthy, stay fit, just be in a decent shape, I think you should just stick with the basics. Okay. So the main reason as to why I put out this video is like, none of the, you don't have to use any of the supplements, the fat burners, and especially all these cliche little sayings like, lemon and honey in the hot water in the first thing in the morning, like on empty stomach and all that. Crap like that doesn't work. It's just all marketing gimmicks that you guys are buying and then doing it. Like, okay, fine, but is it actually going to give you any results? Of course not. It's not going to get you anywhere unless you're going to get some vitamin C from lemon. That's about it. But apart from that, I don't think so. It's going to necessarily make you burn off all the fat. Okay, maybe these things could be like a little enhancers. It could just give you a little bit of edge towards it, but it doesn't make you. It doesn't give you any significant change when it comes to the overall health aspect. Okay, not the way you look or in terms of body fat, burning the body fat or things like that. Okay, so that's what first thing you need to see. So I just wanted to make you understand the basic foundations of it. So there are certain principles and fundamentals that you cannot go against it when it comes to human body. So when it comes to the types of human body, everybody on this planet Earth fall into three different categories. Number one is endomorph. Number two is ectomorph. Number three is mesomorph. Right? So I don't want to get deep into it. I mean, probably that's on a different side. But today I want to say all these three types are nothing but, the really thin, like a stick, medium, and potato, if I can put it that way. All right. So these things are like predominantly being judged or determined by the genetics, right? So we all are born this way. So you must have heard people saying that I'm not losing weight regardless of me just drinking water. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you must have also heard people talking about, hey, I'm not able to, put the weight. I mean, I can't put on the weight regardless of how much I eat. So it's all different types of bodies. And then we need to hit those bodies in a different way. You need to make some certain strategic approaches to actually get the result. But guess what? The best part about it is like, it's not difficult. It's super easy. Just that you need to be strategic enough to do it. I mean, you need to hit the right target. Just shooting in the dark, it's not going to help, right? So the first thing, like I said, types are ectomorph is nothing but the stick. Mesomorph is on the medium side. Endomorph is on the higher side, like really large physique and things like that, right? Adaptation is you need to adapt to a certain type of exercise, certain types of nutrition, like as a whole, certain type of lifestyle for you to fit your needs, fit your goals, right? So you cannot just say a person who is looking forward to even just slim down, who is falling onto the mesomorph, that might not be, though the goal is the same for both of y'all to actually lose weight. But if a person is actually falling onto the mesomorph, and then if the person is actually falling onto the endomorph, not necessarily the same strategy could be applied, and you cannot expect the results, if I can put it that way, right? So you need to be specific in the strategies that you actually incorporate for your lifestyle so that your body can get adapted towards it and eventually improvise on that. That's how it is, okay? But as a thumb rule, what I want you to see is if you incorporate certain things and if you don't see the result every week, that means every week, 7 days, that means that is not working out. It's as simple as that. That's the only way that you can actually quantify. That's the only way that you can actually track it. Okay. All you got to do is just stand in front of the mirror, half naked, full naked, whatever. Take a picture of yourself, possibly on a Sunday morning. So that's when, you're going through the weekend. That's where you're going through the chaos in terms of your food and alcohol and things like that. So Sunday morning, wake up and click on the picture, keep it with yourself and do it on the next Sunday morning. You would be able to see where you have actually gotten to, right? If you're sticking with the right type of discipline, whatever you're supposed to stick into. And then if you see it after a week, if you're not able to see the result, if you are not able to see the progress of whatever you're supposed to see, then there's something wrong. Okay. Relying on the weight scale is the most ridiculous insanity, I would say, because you could be holding a lot of water, you could be holding a lot of food in your stomach, you could be holding a lot of crap. I mean, these things doesn't necessarily give you the true reflection of your cholesterol level or the fat percentage or anything of that sort. Okay. So yeah, so that's the adaptation. You need to constantly see, make those trial and error, and then you will be able to see, okay, so this is working, and then stick on to it, make a light changes every week, and then you'll be able to see if this is working or not. That's how you need to track it. Otherwise it's just, you're just wasting your time and energy. Okay. So that's how you need to see. So it's all about the lifestyle and adaptation, and then approach, different levels of approach. So the next thing I want to talk about is the food, right? So this is my strong advice. You need to approach food. First thing is first, you need to have a good relationship with your food. By that I mean, I have seen a lot of people, including myself, I have eaten everything that I could see, all in the line of I live only once. I want to enjoy the food. Yeah, but you cannot eat like an idiot, right? I mean, it might offend you, okay? That's not the point. I'm just talking truth, because you need to understand that your body doesn't need so much of food to actually function. So you don't have to eat like that. I know we all have addictions. I know we all have weak points, but it's so easy to actually fall into it. You know what I mean? Because temptation is always like a waitress on the bell. All you gotta do is just open the door. But on the other side, it is hard to stick onto the discipline. But I've been saying this like a million times. All you gotta do is just stick with whatever you're supposed to do for 30 days. And then you're good. Your body will thank you in turn, right? It's difficult only for the first 30 days, but eventually you'll get through it. Your brain will fight as much as it can for the first 30 days. But if that is what you're going to resist, then you're pretty much on your way. But again, that is a very strategic approach. So I'll be making a video on that, like a 7-day approach. That's like a cheat sheet for your brain. You need to again strategically approach this every day, like for 7 days, and then you'll be able to get wherever you wanted. Meaning that you will just the temptation, the craving, the addiction, all the time, it's going to come down like for 50%. Now that's how powerful it is. If you incorporate it in the right way, you won't be, you know what I mean? You won't be having that kind of craving or sweet tooth or whatever that you can call it as. Okay, you won't have that. But 7 days are like very powerful. That 7-day strategy is kind of like, I also have a course in my system where how to approach this 7 days. In that I'm covering how to shop, grocery shopping, how to do the stretching, the warm up, the running, the basics of the cooking and things like that, right? So that's pretty much it for the first 7 days. That's how you need to strategically approach it. But the point I'm trying to say over here is that I want you to be looking at the food as not as food, but as a macronutrient. Well, technically it is food, but I want you to look at it as a macronutrient and micronutrients. So as a baseline, look at food as carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Now, it's pretty hard for your mind to actually conceive the concepts and what are all these food is actually making to your body. What is a particular food is actually making an impact to your body. I know it's pretty hard. I mean, it takes actually a little longer to see it, because what the particular protein or carbohydrates is doing to your body is not necessarily the same impact that is doing to my body. So we all are different. So again, you need to see what kind of sensitivity do you have, what kind of a digestion capacity that you have, and things like that. So that's how you need to eventually adapt to that situation. But like I said, I mean, as a base rule, what I want you to just look at, rice as carbohydrates and minerals, eggs as fats and protein. You know what I mean? So if you just take this kind of approach, you will exactly know what you are eating, what you're putting in. So from there, you'll be able to take a step as to say, okay, so this is something that I need to eat more. Now, this is something that I need to eat less, because you see what I'm saying, right? So that is something that I want you to be incorporating it on a regular basis. I mean, first, it would be, like I said, it's going to be a little difficult, but if you consciously make that effort day in and day out, I think within a couple of weeks, you should be able to get wherever you want it. meaning that you can have a clear understanding as to what the food is actually doing to your body, right? So that's with the basics. Now, diet, like I said, it's a very cliche word that's been thrown around all the time. I'm going to go on to the diet, New Year resolution, whatever thing it is. I mean, people just get stuck with these things like diet. But I have seen so many people, from tomorrow I'm going to go on a diet, from next week I'm going to go on a diet, from Monday, from first of January. My question is, what happened to this 1st of February? What happened to your diet? Everything is great. Okay, your diet is great, your workout plan is great, your strategy is amazing. What happened to that on the 1st of February? So you are looking at the diet as a short-term program. Now, that is a wrong approach to take it. I'll tell you why. Most of the diets, what you see on the market, keto or XYZ, okay, there are like millions. Most of this diet that you see on the market is nothing but cutting down the calories. Yeah, cut down the calories, up your metabolism, burn more calories. That means you're going to burn the fat. It is given. All right, I agree with it. There's absolutely, I don't have no against rule of it. But my question or my point is that diet actually suiting your lifestyle? We live in a place where we are predominantly being suffocated with carbohydrates, ladies and gentlemen. Let's understand that, right? We don't need so much of food. All we do is like just keep eating. All right. So, and then somebody's coming and telling you, hey, you know what, you should be eating only the chicken and broccoli, and then you keep boiling the chicken and eating broccoli for a couple of days. You will fall off the wagon if you are going for a wedding, if somebody has a birthday party, you know what I mean? You fall off the wagon, and it doesn't just end there. Now you made the conscious effort of doing that for a week out of great struggle, and now you go for a wedding or you go for a holiday and you go on something. Now, do you even realize how hard it is for you to even get back to whatever you've been doing? No, it's a haunted feeling. I have been there. It's a haunted feeling just to even go purchase your stuff, come and start cooking. You're going to hate every minute of it. And then you reach a tipping point. When you reach the tipping point, you'll be like, it's not for me. And then you go to the restaurant. That's where the strong emotion is going to come and kick in. You go to the restaurant. I've done it. I mean, 1 week I'll withstand, like 10 days I'll withstand, like a couple of weeks I'll withstand. Something happens, a weekend comes in, people will come in. I don't know, something comes in, everything is off. And then I'll be preparing for the Monday morning, Sunday evening, I'll just go buy my stuff, come back, and I'll hit the tipping point. I'll be like, okay, this is not for me. I got to just go eat. And I go to the restaurant, I bloody smash it. I smash my food. Right? And then from tomorrow, I'll be like, okay, from tomorrow, I'm going to be all like that. Because of me smashing the food tonight, do you really think that I'll be able to get back on track from tomorrow morning? No. The fight in your brain will eventually keep going more and not less. I can guarantee that. So, ladies and gentlemen, please understand one thing. Having a diet approach to your life or your lifestyle is not going to work. Instead, adapt your lifestyle. Whatever the food that is available, okay, make it less advanced, make it less superfood, meaning don't put so much of condiments, don't put so much of seasoning into the food. We Indians have not just complicated the food, but we overcomplicate the food. I do agree, it is all tempting. I love my food. But we don't need that to even function properly. I don't understand what is more important than taking care of yourself. I just don't get it. Right? So have a lifestyle approach. So this is the lifestyle I'm living. Now that's got a style to it. Not just for you, but also for your health. Right? You go to the restaurant, you'll be like, okay, I can go for certain options, which I'm allowed to eat, which I can eat, because I respect myself way too much. See, that's the approach that you should be having. I'm not asking you to give it up. You eat. I mean, food is one of the guilty pleasures that we cannot live without. That's fine. I cannot live without my food. But the only thing is, like, when I hit my 60s, if I'm alive, when I hit my 60s or 70s, I don't want to give up on my ice cream just because my doctor is asking me, just because I have too much sugar in my body, just because I have too much body fat in my body. I don't want to give up on my favorite food. So instead, minimize it, continue with certain type of lifestyle right now so that you don't have to give up on your favorite food. Does it even make sense to you? Yes? I'm not asking you to live for tomorrow. Have a control. Have a control. Don't eat garbage. Yeah? Don't consume garbage through here or through here. Please get that right. Yeah? So never have a diet approach, have always a lifestyle approach. That's number 3. Number 4 is get physical. So, okay, now you've got your food in place. So is that enough? Yes, to a certain extent. But you should be strong enough somewhere, right? Your organs cannot be weak just to even take crap. It's already taking a lot of crap, right? Your organs has got to be strong enough. Your body's got to be strong enough. So what are you actually doing to even get to that point? Now let's get into the get physical. Now you need to get physical. By that I mean, you know what exactly I mean, right? Don't have ideas. But I put that heading intentionally. Yeah, get physical. You need to have a routine. By that, if you say, I don't have time, I'm not buying it. 30 minutes every day, just 30 minutes every day, some sort of physical activity. As long as you breathe faster, as long as your heartbeat is rapidly beating, you're good. Yeah. So have a routine, make it interesting, and don't get adapted towards certain things. Don't get habituated towards certain things. And that's when you hit something called as a plateau. That means your body is got adapted to that exercise or dance or swimming or anything. So now again, you get to a point where you won't be able to see the result. What are we going to do about that? Keep changing, get creative, right? Keep changing all the time. And then eventually your body, now it's going to be a little difficult because you already got used to it. And what are you going to do about that, right? Keep changing. My suggest would be every week, okay, do a mixed method. So when you do a mixed method, now that is kind of you're constantly keep shocking your body. This is a very strategic approach. Yeah. So this week, if you do a lot of aerobics, next week you've got to do a lot of running, and then the week after you can do like a lot of abs or weights or body weight or things like that. So this is how to best shock your body. Also, it is going to keep your body in a very optimum condition. Yeah. So yes, try out, experiment a lot of varieties. There are like millions of exercises. Try out a lot. What works best for you, just keep it, but keep improvising every week. That's what my suggest would be. Yeah. The best way to track it is again periodical tracking, weekly tracking. That's what I would say. Don't forget to take the pictures so you'll be able to see where exactly you are heading, right? Number 5 is hormones. Now here, I really want to talk about this. So when you are actually on your way to get healthy or get in a better shape, right? There are certain hormones which you need to be really be mindful about, because the hormones is actually helping you, get result or stay away from it. That's the baseline. Okay. So first one is the insulin. Now insulin, they say, the saying is actually a very cliche saying, but sometimes cliches are true. Insulin is your worst enemy and your best friend, right? So how are you going to, okay, let me just give you an outline. So what is insulin? Insulin is the hormone that spikes when you ingest excess amount of glucose. If the blood is actually containing a lot more glucose than it's supposed to, there is an organ called as pancreas, and that is going to up your insulin. That's going to shoot. Now, let me put it this way. If you are having a pastry, your insulin is going to go skyrocket. Why? To regulate that particular insulin, regulate that hormone. Regulate the glucose. That's how the insulin is being pumped. Yeah. Your pancreas is eventually going to give up at one point if you keep doing the same damage over and over and over again over the years. Yeah. So insulin is something that you need to be keeping it, I wouldn't say down. Even if you keep it down, it's going to react. So not it's going to react, you're going to react. So don't keep it down, but I would say keep it at a very optimum level. Keep it like kind of low, but spike it only when you need to. Now, this is a golden nugget that I'm giving you. Listen to me very carefully. Especially when you finish your physical activity, spike your insulin once and just bring it down. And then you're good. Keep it down. I mean, keep it low until the next physical activity. Shoot it, keep it down. By that, you are saying, you're communicating to your body saying that, okay, I am getting enough glucose, I'm getting enough things. So it is not necessary for you to burn, conserve the fat. It's okay to let go, right? This is a very strategy. This is a very powerful concept. Just let that consume in. I want you to take a lot of notes, okay? So that's how you need to play around with the insulin. Yeah, there are certain insulin spiking food. You can use that, but don't go excess. Again, it needs to be in a very regulated environment. That's how you should, not environment, but regulated amount. That's what I would say. Yeah. Next one is the cortisol. So cortisol is not, in other words, I would just say it's a stress hormone. So stress plays a very important role. Especially, you would have seen a lot of women saying that I'm not able to, get wherever they want to. That's because of the stress, because they're overstressed. Now, a lot of women overthink, yeah, and they take a lot of stress. I mean, even men too, but mostly on the women's side. I think the women are on the 60-65%. That's a heavier side, right? So mostly women are having a lot of stress in terms of internal stress, external stress. I mean, if you go through like a strenuous workout, again, there's something called as cortisol, which is spiking, right? So it is nothing but your body's actually thinking, it's a defense mechanism. So your body's actually thinking that, okay, it's going through a lot of stress. Now this could lead to death. So I need to hug my fat. So let me just hug my fat. I don't want to burn the fat. Now that's the layer that your body is foundationally putting in, so that you won't be able to burn it. So that's where the overtraining, the overstress, and things like that that are coming into place. So I don't want you to get to a point where you are heavily stressed in terms of in your mind or in your body. Don't do that. Don't take things to your head, ladies and gentlemen, unless it's not going to do the big impact from 1 year from today. If not, forget about it. Life is too short to even be stressed. I was there, stressing upon things irrelevant, right? Don't go there. So cortisol is another very important hormone. Another one is a leptin. So leptin is so it's appetite controller in the best way that I can put it. Okay, so the more leptin that you have, the more full you feel with little amount of meal. So if somebody's saying that I'm just eating a little bit and then they feel full, that means there's a lot of leptin hormones which are coming into the place. Now this one, you can actually use it like a lot more to like a lot more friendly to your on your side. By that I mean, the moment you start going down on your food, the moment you start cutting on your calories, leptin level goes down and then the appetite increases. So I don't want you to get to a point where you lose out on things and then you just go and eat. Don't go there. Okay. So how you're going to do this is having more, satiating food, like, a lot of protein, cut down on your starches, cut down on your glucose, like excess processed food and things like that. If you keep eating, the craving kind of goes more. That means your leptin levels are like super fluctuating, and it'll ask you for more food and more food and more food. And that's where the ghrelin comes into play. And then that's another hormone, which is a hunger hormone. That's going to give you a lot of hunger. So you're not, technically speaking, you're not hungry, but it is actually giving you that hunger feeling so that you go and barge in, right? So don't go there neither. So I would suggest you to just keep your meal frequency maybe 4 or 5 times a day. If you're a woman, 5 times a day. If you're a man, about 6 times a day. I would strongly suggest you do that. We've got tremendous amount of benefits in terms of your metabolism and your controlled blood sugar levels, depending on the food that you eat and things like that. Okay, so these are the hormones: insulin, cortisol, leptin, and ghrelin are the hormones that you can what do I say? Like, you need to constantly monitor, right? It looks like a lot of science right now, but once you actually get adapted towards this, once you learn all these things at a deeper level, these things are going to be super friendly for you, right? You would not be looking at this whole weight loss, fat loss journey as a journey in itself. You'll fall in love with the process. You'll have so many calculations in your mind, it feels like you fall in love with it. I mean, it's a living example who's talking here. So you see what I'm saying? You wouldn't see it as an effort. You would not be frustrated. The one thing that you will never get out of this by learning all these things is like frustration. You won't get it. Okay, so that's one thing that you don't get it. So yes, that's pretty much with the hormones. Another one is the hydration. This is super important. Before I proceed into the hydration level, one thing that I want to tell you is your body will confuse thirst for hunger. Yes, so drink up. That's number one. Number two is, you must have heard a lot of people saying that I don't want to cut down on my coffee. I don't want to cut down on my teas and things like that. Well, you don't have to, but that's going to do you a lot more damage than a regular common whole food is going to do you. Not whole food, I mean other food is going to do you. So what are you going to do about it? Like, I've seen a lot of people having about 5 to 10 coffees a day with milk and a lot of cream and a lot of sugar. That's suicidal, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's not funny, but it makes me laugh, because you don't need so much. I'm laughing at myself because I was there having about 5, 6, 7. Sometimes you just get to the flow and you forget yourself, you forget whatever you're doing, and it just keeps going like boom. You get so full. Your body is constantly trying to tell you, this is enough, man. Stop it. And the moron is just not stopping. Right? So you don't need that kind of heavy load. So drink up every time when you get tempted. In case you get a temptation for the coffee, I know it's crazy. So every time when you get that temptation, I would suggest you to drink as much as water as you can. Okay, up to the brim, but don't puke out, but up to the brim. If you just keep drinking, then the craving can go down, because your stomach is kind of full and you don't want to go. This applies for the food as well. Every time when you kind of like really craving for something, just go and drink as much as water as you want. Okay, this is one powerful strategy that I keep using every time when I want to get to the point of cutting down. Yeah, so this is a very powerful strategy. Drink up a lot of water. Also, the more water that you drink, your metabolism goes up. The more metabolism you have, the more calories that you burn. Even at the stage of, even when you're sitting, even when you're walking, the more fat that you burn. So that's how you need to be strategically approaching the whole journey, right? It's not just about drinking a lot of water and not eating and things like that. Yeah. So the next one is the appetite suppressant. So how is this going to work? It's like I said, even if you're hungry, even, like if you like, you might not be hungry. You might be like, you just want something to eat because you're bored. You want something to eat because you're feeling down in your head. All you got to do is just get out of your head. It's all about emotion. Just because of emotion is taking the control over your life, the obesity has gone into up to 65% in employed network, in the employed landscape. 65%, ladies and gentlemen. And in that 65%, almost 60% are women. It's that truth. Unfortunate. Yeah. So again, the more water that you drink, your body is not going to hold too much of water. There's no retention, so it's going to flush out. But at the same time, the more water that you drink, also make sure that you're eating good amount of salt, because the sodium also flushes out along with the water. So make sure that you consume enough sodium. You can take anywhere up to 2000 to 2200 mg of sodium per day. That's your optimum consumption of sodium in your regular food. Just throw in a bit of salt in your whole food, and then you can have it. Just taste delicious on anything. Okay. So you get the idea. So the 7 is the tips and tricks. The final, I want to give you a little tips and tricks here. I just take a lot of notes. Okay. First thing, know your food. You should be completely aware of what you are eating. Small plates is an excellent strategy. The smaller the plate that you have, I mean, this is again the number one mistake that the employers are doing, the corporates or anybody. They have a plate which is pretty much big enough, and they have compartments. So it's a natural tendency for people to, fill up the plates because the spaces are more available. Yeah. And then obviously going for the dessert once you're done with this. So once you have the dessert after the meal, second meal, third meal, it kind of comes as a practice, which is not required, right? I mean, why would you even go to the dessert? I mean, I'm not asking you to just stay away from it all the time, but you can do it, use it as a cheat, like a pleasure once in a week or something, not thrice in a day. Yeah. So that's not how you should be approaching this. Number three is know your body. Remember that I told you endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. So you need to try to understand as to how where exactly you fall, so that it would be easy for you to just approach it with this specific lifestyle pattern in terms of your carbohydrate consumption, or regulation of glucose or anything of that sort. The moment you understand your body, how it works, or what type of body it is so much, everything becomes so much easy, right? Move a lot, uh, park your car, park your vehicle a little far from your destination, take the stairs. um, I know cliche it is, but works. Yeah. At least 30 minutes every day, just try working out. I would say, just put, regardless of whatever you do, just do whatever you want, but make sure that at least for 30 minutes you're just going to pump your heartbeat to a level. Now, how you're going to measure to a fat burning heartbeat is 220 minus your age. You get the idea. So if you're like 30 or 40, so eventually the more age you have, the more age you proceed, the less heartbeat that you should be you know uh, looking at. So that would be like you cannot keep it at that level for like 30 minutes. Obviously, it's also all given, it's already understood. But I would say just keep it, push it 180 and then bring it back down, push it to 190 and bring it back down, and things like that. So how would you be able to do it? Is just all you need to do is just find a pulse on the neck or on your wrist. Keep it for 10 seconds and see how much beats are you getting, and from that you'll be able to establish the right amount. This topic I'll cover it on another day. I don't have time for this in this session, so I'll do that on another day. Hydrate, drink up a lot of water. Okay. um, every calorie counts. This is something that I want you to understand. Again, that is the underlining statement. Every calorie counts, whatever the calorie it is, good, bad, protein, carbs, or whatever. Getting fit, getting healthy, it is something that you cannot cheat on it and expect that to work. Yeah, that's what it is. And another one, the last but never ever 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 the least, is timing. It's always about when you eat. Please understand that. Okay, if somebody's asking you to give up the meat if you want to lose your weight, ask them to, you know, if somebody's asking you don't to eat the wheat or the rice if you want to lose your own weight, you know what to do. Right? So don't give up on your favorite food. You can still do it, and you can still lose weight. You can still get an awesome, sexy ass shape. But all you got to do is strategically approach it. So that's about it. So take good care, and you stay hard and kill it. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.